The phone buzzed on the counter, a sharp vibration that sliced through the stillness of the kitchen. I froze, my hand hovering over the half-chopped onion, the knife glinting under the fluorescent light. The screen lit up with her name, Lila, and the words, "Don't wait up. Having company." My stomach lurched, a cold fist twisting inside me. Company? At 9:47 p.m.? The onion's sharp tang stung my eyes. Or maybe that was something else. I set the knife down, my fingers trembling, and stared at the message, willing it to morph into something innocuous. It didn't. Lila and I had been married 7 years, the kind of marriage where you know the rhythm of each other's silences. Lately, though, her silences had grown heavier, her laughter rarer. I chalked it up to stress, her late nights at the gallery, the art openings she swore were just business. But the word company felt like a splinter under my skin. I grabbed my phone, thumbs hovering over the keyboard, typing and deleting. Who's with you? No. Too desperate. Everything okay? Too weak. In the end, I sent nothing, the silence between us stretching like a taut wire. The apartment felt too small, the air thick with the hum of the fridge and the distant wail of a siren outside. I paced, my socks scuffing against the hardwood, replaying the last few weeks. The way she'd linger in the bathroom, phone in hand, the screen angled away. The perfume she'd started wearing, musky and unfamiliar, when I'd always loved her lavender scent. The way she'd laughed off my questions about her new colleague, Ethan, with his slick smile and tailored suits. "He's just artsy," she'd said, rolling her eyes. But her eyes hadn't met mine. I sank onto the couch, the leather creaking under my weight, and opened her text again. Having company. The phrase gnawed at me, vague enough to be innocent, sharp enough to cut. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe a client. But why not say so? Why the coyness? My mind spun, conjuring images of her at the gallery. Candlelight flickering on her face, someone else's hand brushing hers. I shook my head, trying to dislodge the thought. I was being paranoid. Lila loved me. She'd said it last week, her voice soft but certain, her fingers tracing my jaw. Or had she? The memory blurred, slippery. I checked the time. 10:12 p.m. She'd left at 7, her heels clicking down the hallway, a quick, "I'll be late," tossed over her shoulder. I'd nodded, distracted by the game on TV, but now I wished I'd looked at her, really looked. Had her lips been tighter? Her eyes brighter? I grabbed my coat, heart pounding. I'd drive to the gallery. Just to check. Just to be sure. The city was a blur of neon and shadow as I drove, the radio's static hum mirroring the buzz in my head. The gallery was downtown, a sleek glass box glowing against the night. I parked across the street, my breath fogging the windshield. Her car was there. A silver sedan tucked between a BMW and a pickup. But the gallery's lights were dim, the sign flipped to closed. My pulse quickened. I scanned the windows, half expecting to see her silhouette, but there was only darkness. Then I saw it. Movement in the alley beside the gallery. 2 figures close together, stepping into the faint glow of a street lamp. Lila's auburn hair caught the light, unmistakable, her laugh carrying across the quiet street. The other figure, taller, leaner, leaned in, his hand grazing her arm. Ethan. My chest tightened, the air in the car suddenly too thin. I gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, torn between storming out and staying invisible. She pulled away, her laugh faltering, and said something sharp, her hands gesturing wildly. Ethan stepped closer, his voice low, insistent. I couldn't hear the words, but her body language screamed discomfort, shoulders hunched, head shaking. My anger shifted, muddying with confusion. Was she rejecting him? Or was this a lover's spat, raw and intimate? I wanted to believe the former, but doubt clawed at me, whispering memories of her late nights, her guarded phone. Then she turned, her eyes catching the street lamp's glow, and for a moment I thought she saw me. Her face crumpled, not with guilt but with something like fear. She shoved Ethan hard and strode toward her car, her heels clicking faster now, almost running. He called after her, his voice sharp, but she didn't stop. She slid into her car, the engine roaring to life, and peeled out of the lot, leaving him standing alone in the alley, his fists clenched. I sat there, heart hammering, trying to piece it together. Had I misread everything? Was she running from him, not to him? Or was this guilt caught in the act? My phone buzzed again and I flinched. Another text from Lila. "I'm coming home. We need to talk." The drive back was a haze, my mind replaying the alley scene, dissecting every gesture, every word I hadn't heard. When I got home, she was already there, sitting on the couch, her coat still on, her face pale. The air between us crackled, heavy with unspoken questions. "Jake," she said, her voice breaking. Nothing happened. I swear." Her eyes were wet, but I couldn't tell if it was guilt or relief. "Then why?" I asked, my voice raw, betraying the hurt I tried to bury. "Why the text? Why him?" She looked down, twisting her wedding ring. "Ethan, he's been pushing. For weeks. I thought I could handle it, keep it professional. Tonight he crossed the line. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want you to think." She trailed off, her hands shaking. I wanted to believe her. God, I did. But the splinter was still there, lodged deep. "Why didn't you tell me?" I pressed, my voice louder now, anger edging out the hurt. "Why hide it?" "I was scared," she whispered. "Scared you'd think I wanted it. Scared I'd lose you." The room spun, the weight of her words sinking in. I saw the fear in her eyes, the same fear I'd seen in the alley, and something in me softened, but not enough. Trust once cracked doesn't mend clean. I sank beside her, our knees touching, but the space between us felt vast. "Tell me everything," I said, my voice steady but cold. "From the beginning." She nodded, tears spilling, and started talking. About Ethan's charm, his persistence, her attempts to deflect. About tonight when he tried to kiss her, and she pushed him away, horrified. Each word was a brick, building a wall between what I'd feared and what might be true. But as she spoke, I saw the gallery's dim lights, her hurried steps, her car speeding away. And I wondered if the betrayal wasn't an act, but a silence. One she'd chosen until it was almost too late. The twist came not in her words, but in mine. "I was there," I said, my voice barely audible. "I saw you. In the alley." Her eyes widened, a gasp escaping her lips. "You followed me?" I nodded, the admission heavy. "I didn't trust you." The silence that followed was louder than any argument. We sat there, two people who loved each other, staring at the wreckage of our trust, hers shaken by a man who'd overstepped, mine fractured by a text and a moment I couldn't unsee. The truth hung between us, jagged and unresolved. Betrayal wasn't just in what she'd hidden, but in what I'd assumed, what I'd done to confirm it. And as her hand reached for mine, trembling, I wasn't sure if we'd ever find our way back.